This girl went to the Jurassic World school of unnecessarily running in heels.
This guy went to the CinemaSins school of unnecessary pop culture references. Wait.
Hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
A female neighbor asks an obviously distressed teen girl who was running down the street in fear and wearing underwear and hooker heels if she's okay. The girl lies to her and says she's fine, and the neighbor carries on unloading her groceries. This must be one f***ed up neighborhood.
First of all, calling these hooker heels. These are hooker heels. Second, for all her neighbor knows, she's playing an elaborate game of hide and seek. She minded her damn business, which is a lesson these Karens need to learn. Seriously, you are advocating for people to be nosy. This is more than I could in an entire video.
Fine, Dad.
It's pretty outrageously clear you're not fine. And this girl who wants to run away from an unseen attacker does it in the craziest way imaginable, in full view of everyone, rather than simply getting in a car or running away less conspicuously.
There is so much wrong with this, I don't even know where to begin. The entity in this movie moves very slowly and most of the time in a straight line. Annie is not running away in the craziest way imaginable. Because it follows, she is drawing it away from her home so that she can run back inside, grab her car keys, and give herself enough time to do so without the entity being in her way again. This was the reason for her running in a large circle.
Now she runs for the car. It's very apparent this girl's been running from whatever it is for a while now, and yet she doesn't keep the keys on her at all times.
Throughout the movie, we're shown that when most people are confronted by the entity, they panic. If it were so apparent to her to do what it is you're suggesting, why would she go home at all? Why not stay in the car at all times so that you can drive away at a moment's notice? The answer is that she's not been dealing with this creature for a while, and this was her thinking on the fly.
Her leg may be exactly the opposite of where it's supposed to be, but at least she died perky.
Everything wrong with It Follows, ladies and gentlemen. A young woman has perky breasts. This fucking laugh.
In a true David vs. Goliath tale, small independent horror movie kills Ant-Man.
In case you haven't gotten it by now, It Follows is really good, so Jeremy has to resort to terrible jokes to fill the time leading up to actual perceived sins, instead of just going directly to the section of the movie they have a problem with. But if he did that, their moronic fanboys couldn't just skip the movie and watch it for free through CinemaSins like they admit to in his comments section. Imagine watching movies through CinemaSins. Yep, that's why movie discourse is so shit on the internet.
Hey, Jay.
A heroine with a masculine or unisex name will be extra tough, unlike certain dead girls on the beach named Annie.
This sounds mightily close to you suggesting women shouldn't have certain names based on their position within a story. You wouldn't be doing that, would you, Jeremy? Because that would be stupid as
A very normal teen activity, silently watching old movies with friends in the middle of the day.
Leave it to CinemaSins to completely miss the subtext in a movie clearly about the subtext. This movie, or rather the kids watching this movie, sets up this film as not being of a specific time period meant to invoke the feeling one gets in a nightmare. There are quite a few of these hints in this film, just like this
What the hell kind of device is this?
made-up device specifically for this movie. The director stated that this device and these other hints are meant to invoke the feeling of being in a nightmare where things are familiar enough to understand, but just
Odd enough to be unsettling.
Those lamps, that TV, that dress, apparent fog machine. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've got ourselves a level 10 hipster.
You see, this is what you get with CinemaSins. No analysis about something the movie is actually trying to get across, such as these items invoking the strangeness and dreamlike state of this movie. No, what you get is calling someone a hipster instead of understanding why those items are where they are. Which is funny, I guess, because it's cool to dunk on hipsters, I guess. I mean, it kinda is. You had to ruin it. You just had to ruin it.
Him,
The dad?
not a son.
Yeah, that was immediately obvious when you said him, you pronoun game playing asshole.
I swear to Loki, if someone says pronoun game in real life, I'm punching them in the dick.
Plus, at that age, you can go to the bathroom anytime you want. Total freedom.
Yeah. He's probably taking a shit right now.
Do you two even school? 5-year-olds are not often in diapers, nor are they shitting their pants at a movie theater.
While 5-year-olds probably shouldn't be in diapers, Jeremy is clearly unaware of a little place called Walmart.
Also, the two blondes in front of them right now were well behind them at the single-file box office, which can only mean these two entered the theater, then spent 5 minutes debating if they wanted to get in line for concessions, allowing the blondes to get ahead. And the redhead with the two Asian girls are in front of them for tickets, but then behind them here. Somewhere there's a PA who thinks they did their job just by merely having the same extras in both scenes, and that person works at Starbucks now.
You see, this is what CinemaSins is supposed to be doing and how they sold themselves as a channel, nitpicking inconsistencies in movies while telling a few jokes along the way. You might think I'm going to remove a sin for this, but it took more than 2 minutes for them to actually get to this, so you'd be wrong.
How about the girl in the yellow dress?
Since we find out that Jay can't see this girl in the yellow dress, who is obviously here to kill this dude, why isn't she making a beeline towards him right now? Apparently she's just hanging out in the theater lobby.
The entity is walking towards Hugh. The issue is that it is very slow. If Hugh didn't realize that Jay couldn't see it, it probably would have made it to him and killed him.
And then this monster just lets him leave the theater. Unless Hugh took Jay on the wildest escape from an old theater since John Wilkes Booth and we didn't see it.
Jeremy thinks there is only one way out of a movie theater. Fire Marshal Bill and disappoint.
I totally felt sick and needed to get the f*** out of the theater, so let's go to a diner and eat now. And I will not look the least bit scared because I'd like to see a monster infiltrate this fortress.
What CinemaSins doesn't show you is that immediately after the scene, the movie shows Hugh driving a ways away from the theater, meaning it's going to take the slowly walking entity a while to catch up.
Do I smell bad?
You literally puffed that cigarette seconds ago. I don't even have to sniff you to say that yes is the answer.
Jeremy says something that the movie says and treats it as a sin ex machina.
Do I smell bad? Like cherry Coke vanilla nicotine. That's my favorite flavor. Let's go back to the car.
Why is the car a better doing it spot than the f***ing deserted beach? Hello, romance much?
She probably doesn't want sand in her Anakin.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
Love the moral code that doesn't count a surprise drugging and kidnapping situation as hurting someone.
And I love the slick wording you're using to justify this really weak sin. Calling this a kidnapping situation is a stretch, as all he's doing is trying to get her to see the entity as he immediately takes her home after this. Also, when he said hurt, he was clearly talking about physically, and you knew this.
This thing, it's gonna follow you. It could look like someone you know, or it could be a stranger in a crowd.
Dude, couldn't you have at least put her clothes back on before you gave it a lesson on this sexually transmitted demon?
Jeremy is still not getting the subtext of this movie being about a nightmare. She's in her underwear. Get it?
It's very slow, but it's not dumb.
If it's not dumb, why is it taking the form of a very obvious lady? In fact, why is it taking the form of a human being at all? Wouldn't it be more effective to be a wolf that could chase people down and rip out their throats? This demon is f***ing lazy.
Nothing about this movie suggests that the entity has the capability to transform into anything other than a human. Maybe its power is simply limited to human forms. And there are quite a few theories that it doesn't have control of its transformation at all, like the one that says its appearance is based on the subconscious of the person it's trying to kill. I'm not saying it's true, I'm just saying I like it.
That's why we're drinking on the porch.
I'm more concerned with how you're drinking on the porch and getting away with it. Is this one of those horror movies that pretends parents don't exist, or exist but are shitty people?
Think about it. In a nightmare, where are the people you need when you need them?
I suppose you'll be expecting me to comment hornily about this girl's attire, but I am way too distracted with how f***ing clean the bathroom countertop is in a home with 2 teenage girls.
Girls are messy. That's sexist.
As we'll soon find out, almost nobody coming after Jay is someone she knows, or anyone who blends in the crowd. They're all out of place, announcing their presence. This movie could have been a lot scarier if it followed the it could be anyone thing.
Guys, listen to what Jeremy is saying here. He is lamenting the fact that the entity isn't turning into someone she knows, while at the same time saying it's not following the it could be anyone thing. The it could be anyone thing. It could be anyone.
What exactly is supposed to be following you?
I don't know.
That guy who f***ed me but then gave me instructions was actually kind of vague, and I have no idea what's going on. F***ing Hugh.
They actually address this point in this scene. When Jay brings up the rules, her friends immediately shoot it down, causing Jay to doubt herself.
Hugh told me that he passed it on to me. Something was gonna follow me.
That's all bullshit, Jamie.
Yeah, I know.
Teenage boy in a house with 3 hot teenage girls is watching a movie instead of, oh, you know what, I bet he already did that. You know, it follows, but it takes a really long time for it to catch up.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. That's literally the premise of the film.
5% of this movie's runtime is other movies.
And 5% of this video's runtime is you talking about the same shit, but worded differently.
Normal teen activity, silently watching old movies with friends in the middle of the day. What is it with these kids in the classic movies? I don't doubt that they're fans, but all the time.
And then you kissed Kelly. She told me. You kissed 2 sisters, that's kind of gross.
Only if they're your sisters.
It's not cheating if you spread peanut butter all over your testicles and let your dog lick it off. Oh! Because it's your dog!
Also, kissing 2 sisters is gross? Seriously? Damn, high school me is gross then. I was gonna high-five this guy.
Because it's your dog.
No, yeah, we got it.
Oh, so the demon can manipulate objects in the real world, and other people can see the result of that manipulation, but not the demon itself.
This is nowhere near the criticism you think it is. Even if this were a demon, since when are demons unable to manipulate objects in the real world? Have you never seen Paranormal Activity?
See? Everything's okay.
Okay, that's a pretty damn good scare.
Removing a sin for greatness. I knew you had it in you.
These people never seem to run very far. A local beach, the neighborhood park. Has anyone tried crossing the globe? Could the ghost slowly make its way to the airport and hop on a jet to the Philippines?
This story is about these broke-ass kids living in what I can only assume is Detroit. They ain't got the money to hop on a plane, and if they did, don't you think that, at least for them, it would be impractical? I mean, just up and leave your family behind with the reason being, there's this invisible monster chasing me, bye.
You can't tell Mom.
Tell Mom. I'm waiting to even see Mom.
So what you're saying is, a flaw of this film is it doesn't show you the protagonist's mother. Tell me, Jeremy, what would her presence add to this movie that her absence doesn't? Because I'm fairly certain the movie purposefully doesn't show the mother.
And she would not need to go find Hugh and drag out this movie's runtime if Hugh had simply given her anything other than cryptic bullshit after f***ing her.
Seriously, what else could Hugh have said? He told her literally everything she needed to know. The entity is slow, it's not dumb, it will always be chasing her, and that it can look like anyone. What are you even asking for?
A combination of audio and subtitles tell me the announcement says, also your banquet is this Sunday at 3 p.m. here at the high school. Who the f*** schedules a banquet of any kind at 3 in the goddamn afternoon?
As there isn't that much dialogue in this film, because it's told through imagery, CinemaSins is clearly scraping the bottom of the barrel in order to make this hilariously short video a bit longer. Instead of being honest, saying this film doesn't have many sins, they'd rather complain about a f***ing banquet.
I mean, it should be easy for her. She's a girl.
That's racist.
It's actually true, though. Women don't really have as hard a time as men getting sex. I mean, we actually pay women for it. Can you believe that? Some of us even pay for pictures on a site called OnlyFans, when porn is free. Also, I find it a little hypocritical you attempt to label this sexist. Didn't you say that a woman's bathroom should be messy because she's female in this video?
It goes straight down the line to whoever started it.
Well, this just raises the question as to who started it and when. Has this death demon only been around like 30 years? What if the person who started it is already long dead? What happens then? Does it just wander the earth unseen by anyone, not killing? Why can't it just do that now?
Yeah, all of that is well and good, but how does having this information make this movie better? How does not having it make it worse? The kind of questions you ask have nothing to do with the story the movie is telling, and you have convinced yourself that a movie having unanswered but unrelated questions is a flaw of that film. What gets me is that when a movie does try to explain something, you cry about it.
Do you guys see that girl right there?
Definitely not it, because it, so far, has been nothing but scary-looking ghosts unconcerned about their nudity.
Literally untrue, as you yourself pointed out the girl with the backpack.
Creepy person walking straight towards the car in this scene that none of the characters notice or acknowledge.
Have you thought about what he said? Maybe passing it on?
Actually, this raises an important question. Can the ghost be transferred only via penis-in-vagina sex? What about blowjobs? What about lesbian sex?
Let's try this. Yes to all of those questions. Now, how is the movie better now that you have this information? Oh, it isn't? Okay then.
Instead of contorting you into a sickening twisted position, I'm going to pull your hair first and announce my arrival.
The entity is not concerned with being stealthy. This is an assumption on your part. We also see that it doesn't exactly kill you right away and plays with its food. This can be seen in the scene where it humps the shit out of Greg.
If the ghost is basically unkillable, then why does it even bother to fall on the ground? It's like, oh, that hurt. Well, not anymore.
CinemaSins is obviously missing that this is the film showing the audience the entity is essentially unstoppable as well as relentless, which makes it scarier. Imagine asking for more information on this creature and when they give it to you, complaining about it. It's almost like I said that was exactly what he was going to do.
Jay legitimately thinks she can kill an STD demon ghost via gun bullets.
She's American. This is how we believe all problems are solved.
Have you seen it?
Nothing.
Yeah, about that. Why? Why is the demon waiting 3 days? Just to f*** with them? Didn't it start coming after Jay pretty quick after her getting the evil intercourse?
Dude, this movie is called It Follows. Greg has been going all around town and the creature has been following him. If he is constantly on the move, it will never catch up to him. It's not waiting, it's just slow.
By the way, is this the 80s? What the hell was that thing Yara was using earlier? I mean, I'm glad this movie doesn't have cell phones or a perceptible era, but a timeline where I'm using a phone with a cord is a nightmare situation.
It's almost like he's mocking me at this point.
This is the only time the ghost appears as someone the infected person knows, because he's not the main character.
Wrong. The entity appears as Jay's father when she's in the pool at the climax of the film.
Did I miss a throwaway line of dialogue early in the movie that explains the parents' absence via snooty Italian holiday?
Yep, this movie has so few sins, they've resorted to literally doubling up on nearly every sin.
This fucking ghost. Did you really think you'd find her on the roof, dude? We've seen how long it takes for you to get around. How long did this take? What a total waste of time. I again suggest everyone fly to the other side of the world.
Jeremy asks why the entity is on the roof because he obviously forgot he sinned the ball jump scare scene which showed Jay's bathroom being easily accessible from the roof.
Rubber ball jump scare. But if he's peeping, why did we never see him the entire time Jay was in the bathroom? And did he, who wants to peep without her knowledge, throw this ball? Or did someone who doesn't approve of his peeping throw this ball at him and leave? Did the filmmakers just want a jump scare that made no sense? Jump scare that made no sense?
Jump scare that made no sense.
When I was a little girl, My parents wouldn't allow me to go south of 8 Mile.
Now everybody from the 313, put your hands in the...
Jeremy sings in a video cliche.
How long do you think it'll be?
Hours, I bet.
Or days, or a week, or 7 minutes. There was literally nowhere near enough data about this randomly appearing demon to make any kind of guess.
Except they do, because she knows how fast it walks and the distance they traveled. Again, it is simple mathematics.
She has no idea how long until it arrives. Is she prepared to stand in the pool for days if necessary?
No, you don't know how long until it arrives because you are a moron.
Also, this ghost decides not to go into the water, even though there's no reason why that's not an option at this point. They can't throw anything in while she's in the pool, and as we find out later, it can actually swim and catch up to Jay. It'd pretty much be game over since none of her friends can see it.
Hugh specifically said that the entity isn't dumb. It is demonstrating its intelligence by not getting into the water falling for their trap.
Man, this version of the It doesn't show any fight at all. It just lets them do whatever they want. The last time it was attacked, it punched Paul off the screen, it was so mad.
What CinemaSins doesn't show you is the entity actually did try to fight Jay's friends, but didn't go out of its way in its singular focus to kill Jay.
Too bad Mythbusters basically made all of these shooting bullets into the water scenes complete bull. Although, to be fair, this is apparently some sort of parallel universe where kids watch classic movies, have old electronic...
Wait, what was that?
Parallel universe where kids watch classic movies...
One more time.
Watch classic movies...
Movies?
Movies.
Movies.
Bro, no, looks like things incorrectly. Loose voy titium. Veloué scissor. A people cadere vine jar. Both. Calagas frus titi flockus.
Of course! Give it to a prostitute! Actually, why didn't you guys think of this earlier?
Why didn't Jay, a heterosexual female, not think to have sex with prostitutes? Is that your question? I mean, I can understand if you were asking Hugh this question, but that dude thinks chloroforming people is a smart way of trying to show them something.
I root for Paul, but there's no way he landed this chick. Even if he saved her life 10 more times, I don't see this working.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really see a woman going, yeah, you saved my life from an invisible supernatural monster a few times, but have you seen Stefan's Corvette?
See? Everything's okay.
Lord, I'm having a heart attack. Damn, this is some scary shit.